Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Recognize this? It's a kid's toy. It's like how you put a square block in hopefully a square hole. We've got a lot of grandkids. It's great. And our grandkids range in age, but most recently, we were with our grandson who is 2 years and about 4 months old. Now that's a delightful age. His brain is thinking, he's able to understand what we say, and we're able to talk to him. But there's a problem. And the problem is this. He's got the understanding of a 2-year, 4-month-old. Well, actually, he's so brilliant, it's probably at least like 2 years and 5 months, but I don't want to brag. And so when we explain things to him, we need to do it in the language he understands. I've got great opportunities to explain to him, don't throw the toy at your 7-month-old sister. He gets that. But if I were to explain to him the concept behind quantum mechanics, or the idea behind an electron transfer between one atom and another to make a molecule, I'd have no shot because he doesn't have the language for it. Now, what does that have to do with my video thoughts for the day this week? Well, it's very simple. God himself is a being beyond our ability to fathom. We are so limited by our experience, by our vocabulary, that for us to understand the Divine One requires him, her, divine God, to reach down and speak to us in words we understand. And so when we read the Bible, God's revelation, we read God expressing and educating us as to the nature of God, as to the actions of God, using words and experiences that we can understand. And so you've got, for example, Psalm 18. Now, Psalm 18 over and over and over uses what scholars would call an anthropomorphism. Anthropo, the first part of that, is from the Greek word anthropos, which means person. And the morphism comes from the Greek morphe, which is taking the form of or having a form. So an anthropomorphism means that God is expressing himself in human forms, even though he's not a human. And we see that not only in physical features, but sometimes in emotional language as well. The Bible will talk about God in physical ways like Psalm 18 or Exodus 31. In Exodus 31, it says that God carved the commandments with his finger for Moses. Well, it wasn't this divine finger that stuck down out of the sky and started engraving in stone, but finger was a symbol of meaning of someone doing something with fine, meticulous care. I'm not saying God didn't write it out, but I don't think it was a divine finger per se. Now, I can tell you Psalm 18 uses these anthropomorphisms about God like crazy. It talks about how from God's temple, it says, in my distress, I called upon the Lord. To my God, I cried for help. And from his temple, my cry to him reached his ears. And that's not telling us that God is some massive being with big old ears like an elephant. What it's telling us is God hears his people's cries of distress. And so these anthropomorphisms are God trying to talk to us in language we can understand. And I want to spend this week looking at some of those, because we'll see things that are interesting. We'll see God talking about himself in masculine ways as a father and a he. We'll see God talking about himself in feminine ways as a mother and she. We'll see God talking about himself using emotional concepts like jealousy and anger. And all of this is part and parcel of us trying to understand in our vocabulary some of these natures and aspects of God. So I want to talk about God this week. I want to look at it through these lenses, and I hope you'll join me. But this is our warm-up. This is your video thought for today.